Welcome back, Southeast Asia. Unfortunately, Game 1 will be remade with the same picks and bans and starting items due to technical difficulties. So we're going to do a chrono break here and turn to minute 1 and 30. But it's going to be a so Ascension now has the information. Both MSK and Ascension have some information on how they play their early levels, early laning phase. So I am expecting an adaptation from both of these teams, and for Ascension to not lose the early game as they did, because James has been putting a lot of pressure.
That's right, and let's see in the 2-minute mark, we're seeing same rotations in the jungle. Not to mention the Gragas and Fiora matchup in the top lane.
And that's going to be Lloyd actually warding way too late earlier. Because every second in the jungle clear is gold. You really need to take the timing, and then him warding that way too late opened up for a gank. It seems like he won't make the same mistake here.
Maybe he did this time. He warded a bit too early, seeing that James is still in the wolves.
That's going to be clearing the wolves here. So even with the remake, it's going to be them adapting. While still sticking to their game plan, James still wants to pressure all of the lanes here. Kaigu.
Yes. Yeah, we were saying how the junglers really influence the laning phase of all lanes.
Yes.
And not to mention, seeing how Viper played, he really likes to take away resources from the enemy jungler by power farming. But James is more on pressuring lanes, which I think, in my opinion, has more impact.
It's more impact, yes. He's like Viper again, making the rotation bot.
Here comes James in for the leap, and that is a stun onto G4 with the leap closing into James, and that will be a first blood onto James.
Actually, that's going to be the first blood onto still MSK. G4 being caught off guard, has to burn the heal. Exosen burning his own ghost, but that is going to be 400 gold to Syndra, and it's going to be very painful once he gets an item lead. It's going to be double Dorans and a control ward actually, and a refillable potion to help him stay in lane a lot longer than G4.
Yeah, right now it's first blood in the hands of James. No new things there, so let's see how James will... We saw how he went to the mid lane instead of the top lane.
Yeah, because that would be expected. Lloyd not risking to ward that brush. And repeat the same mistake from earlier, but that's going to be G4 getting caught off guard, as I said. Kaigu pushing Lloyd in. Look at all that damage. And still, without the lead, Kaigu still putting out a lot of pressure in the top lane. And
seeing how Exosen is itemizing the first blood assist, he goes with another Doran's ring plus a refilling potion.
To match the double Doran's ring as well from G4, but he is picking up the refillable potion. Those two charges actually recover more than the one potion G4 has left, and it's going to be more gold value for him the more he wants to roam around, the more he wants to go back to base and then push and then roam. It's going to be a lot more gold value for him.
And right now we see that G4 establishing a control ward in the left side of the brush, expecting James for another rotation, but he expects it too. He recalls back, picking up the Clawfield Hammer already completed.
And that's going to be a lot of gold from that initial gank, the first blood. Clawfield's a Warhammer, going to give him the CDR and the AD he needs to further clear his jungle, opting for that instead of building into one of the knives, into one of the blades that are the jungle items. It's going to be Lloyd burning his teleport, so if ever a fight does break out bot lane, it will be MSK with a lead.
Right now, we're seeing that Kaigu still has the teleport, but G4 is really conscious about Exosen. Here comes Viper for the gang, but Exo flashed away. That will be an escape and successful deny of the gank from Viper.
I like the instant flash reaction as soon as Viper pounced. That means that the gap closer
very predictable for a needle leader jungle. The ganks are very easy to read.
As well, after you get that javelin in, he will want to pounce with that swipe for the burst.
And if you flash away from the swipe, Viper has no damage left. So if you
does burn Exosen's flash though, even though his ghost will be back up very soon. James looking for something to steal, someone to catch out. Seems like nothing is there in the bot side jungle. He did establish a vision, a little sight ward there in the bot lane near the Krug's camp.
Right now,
pinging for Ocean Drake.
Oh wow, that would be a very early Ocean Drake. 6 minutes and 16 seconds in the timer. We're seeing TG and James helping each other out, with Ascension having no idea that MSK is taking the Ocean
Drake. They're
Drake.
pinging the Dragon here. They're just pinging that they are missing. But now, there we go. They have an idea now. But that's going to be the Raptor Camp trade Viper for the Ocean Drake. That's much more worth for MSK.
They have the early Ocean Drake, so that really helps in the laning phase.
And as you said earlier, it's
James spotted in the bot side. Will opt for a dive, knowing that Malzahar Warlock is not yet level 6, but it is way too risky.
Yeah, way too risky to do that, because they might get the level 6.
There is the scout.
That's going to be spotted out. But Viper is not there. They're going to trade Krug camps here.
It's interesting to see how James jungles. He almost mirrors Viper in a way.
Yeah, mirroring and always looking to apply more pressure than him.
Yes, and avoiding conflict.
He's mirroring the clears, mirroring the counter jungles, but right now he's applying a lot more pressure. The damage from his early lead that he gained is going to be pretty painful. Lots of pressure just from having more damage and more gold than Viper. So the mirror for the clear is a lot more dangerous for Ascension.
Right now we're seeing Kaigo starting again with the coming back from the base. 3 Doran's Ring plus a refilling potion. We're gonna expect that.
That's a lot of early stats.
Yes.
Very efficient. The Doran's items are very efficient, but they are dead end items. But it seems like Kaigo wants to survive in the lane even more. Just oppress Lloyd for much longer.
That's right. And now with 2 mid laners having the blue buff, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be seeing a sped up mid lane. But knowing that the junglers are really aware of each other, I don't think G4 will make the same mistake.
I don't think G4 will be as aggressive as he was earlier, forcing a lot of trades that end up being unfavorable for him. He does have that heal for that short burst of speed, plus his flown flash, Kaigo. Okay, not opting to...
well, it's more of a win on Kaigo's side if he permits Lloyd to recall, knowing that
that's a lot of XP and gold.
Yes, he does not have his teleport yet, and knowing that, seeing that Zensho already completing the Bilgewater Cutlass compared to No Way, who just picked up a dagger and a Vampiric Scepter.
Yeah, that's actually the timing on that is actually so bad, because you want that Bilgewater Cutlass already for the active, for the combined
slow
item.
And the Kai.
But just getting the Vampiric Scepter plus a dagger.
Oh, look at that ward placement. It's for James.
He really wants to catch him out.
Yes, great placement in terms of wards for G4.
Ascension are really looking out for James, ensuring
Spotted
that
out.
G4 again does not get ganked again. But yeah, this will spot him out if ever he goes to that exit.
Viper spotted in the riverside of...
they're really just mirroring each other so far.
Yes, and you can see that
James is spotted out by that ward.
Spotted by ward.
Know.
Viper might opt for the counter.
Both of them are spotted out by wards.
The mirror matchup, the mirroring of the junglers is really interesting to see.
TG not opting for boots, not opting as well, is because once he's already level 6, but it seems like Zensho and TG want to use the Abyssal Voyage to deliver James to get that gank in the bot lane.
Lloyd spotted in the riverside of MSK.
That's just giving more time for
There is
to
Viper.
farm his zone.
Yes.
He's going to get behind in a little bit of experience, but going back to the bot lane, it seems like TG wants to use his Abyssal Voyage as a delivery device for James to get those ganks. He can opt for a roam if he wants to, but he's a slow, waddling Tom Kench right now without those boots.
Yes,
even with Abyssal Voyage.
Yes, but the Abyssal Voyage is so versatile in a way that you can use it as a flanking tool, catching the opponent off guard. But let's see how it plays out, because it depends on Kaigo's teleport play.
It's really going to depend on the teleport plays of both of these top laners.
Seeing James rotating to the top lane. Lloyd gets body slammed. There is the grand challenge. He is challenging Kaigo, taking all the Via spot, leaving one behind. And now Viper in the top lane gets spotted by the control ward.
Quite a preemptive leap on James' side. If he had saved, because he was predicting that Lloyd would flash away. Seems like that's way too early and actually denies them the kill there.
Yes, the arrow has been burnt by No Way. And seeing how Warlock is there with the Void Gaze, he spots it, flashes in for the Void Gaze, and a Shockwave to follow it up with Viper clearing the mid lane.
It's going to to be a lot of pings there telling him to be careful, but in the end, just the flash Void Gaze is enough to take him out. That's a lot of crowd control on him.
But not to mention investing 3 members of Ascension Gaming onto the mid lane, leaving Zensho and Noe just to solo farm. If ever a duel does happen, who do you think will come up top?
Well, right now, it seems like Zensho wants to recall, get his own recurve bow, because the itemization timing there means that No Way would have had the advantage if there was a fight. Seems like he's going to recall here. Both are pretty equal in gold, actually. Yeah, just like a...
There is the Abyssal Voyage. TG in the mid lane for the flash in. Also for G4. Flash in for Hamas. There is the scout. Not going to help much. Heal burnt by G4. There is the third stack. Devoured by TG with Hamas. Securing the kill and from the ball lane. We see No Way responding. Skying to position with the heal burn. And Axosen responding for damage will not be enough with Warlock's Voidlings just chewing out Kaigu.
Now that was Mineski on the back foot there. The 80 carry, No Way, was there for the assist.
Trade.
Yeah, 2-4.
Look at that chain of corruptions is onto Warlock with Exozan in the back. Trying to tailgate Warlock will be disengaged.
Yeah, doesn't disengage, also burns the ultimate for that. Seems like this is a lot more even of a game with Ascension actually taking the initiative there. In terms of the response. Now that was Zensho on the back foot for that fight, not able to immediately get to his team.
But looking at the CS, not much of a difference. But here is the replay.
They do get they commit a lot of resources to G4, leaving them open to a lot of damage. Now they are caught between Lloyd, Viper,
No Way
and Warlock.
was left untouched.
So this is going to be a 3v3, but with a lot of lost health for Mineski. Zensho not at all there to help. Just going to his lane. Too slow for that.
And yes, that will be a kill in the hands of Lloyd to help in his itemization with the Mercury Threads. But with the Tiamat in the hands of Lloyd, I think he's going to be pushing the lane more, forcing... We always see that Kaigo is the one under the turret, but this time it's not the case.
It's going to be Kaigo getting pushed in with a Tiamat. Buys the Bomby Cinder to endure in the lane more, to push back the wave clear coming from Lloyd. Also buys the Digitabis, very powerful item in general. Gonna help against No Way when he teleports, and Lloyd when they want to trade. Oh, Exosen.
Split second reaction to dodge that stun.
That would have been so good for G4. He did have his shockwave up.
Yes.
And a lot of damage, free damage for G4.
We can see that in the No Way is really prioritizing the arrows for the mid lane.
Yeah, they really want G4 to snowball with Viper following it up. Because James and Exosen, they really want to be the second Ocean Break for Mineski if they take
uncontested
this
yet again with those control wards blacking out the vision of Ascension, with Mineski having the second Ocean Drake.
That might be the timing from James, because Viper always likes mirroring to the other side.
Yes, we see that Viper likes to power farm, and the ganks in the mid lane were really good, but the fact that 3 members were already in the mid lane, why did they not go for the Ocean Drake?
Yeah, that was quite a missed opportunity. James, dangerous positioning.
There is Shockwave, denies the leap, but there is James for the escape.
Yeah, there was no vision there for Mineski. That could easily have been dueled by G4, but with the mobility of Viper plus having no vision on that area, Mineski does not want to risk that. Calls it away.
Yes, that's very true. And now, 15 minutes into the game, we're seeing Viper get caught off guard. Unleash power is not enough because of the heal from Viper. Split second heal.
Really did, I think, made the difference for that kill.
And
Exosen still just casually going back to lane to push and pressure, leaving James a lot more open after he gets outside the jungle.
Kaigu really has the itemization, almost like 3 Doran's Ring and a Bami Cinder to really deny the true damage coming from those vile spots. But note that the way that Mineski is playing right now is very objective based. But on Ascension's side, we can see that they're really trying to delay the game to the late game, really farming it out, especially in the bot lane.
That could be dangerous. Of course, Fiora and Ashe, they really scale up. Warlock being able to set up these Void Gazes. But note that
there it is, Abyssal Voyage. TG goes in for the flag with No Way without his support in the riverside. James closing in for the gang, but that will get Chain of Corruption onto Warlock. And there's a swallow from Warlock. He flashes away with TG's thick skin active. There's the heal forward and G4 alone. Teleport coming in from the top lane with Kaigo in the scene. There is G4 caught off guard with Zencho picking up the kill. A flash over the wall for Kaigo in the Dragon Pit. TG slow with the tongue lash with Lloyd soaking so much damage.
That's going to be one kill with a lot of resources burned on both sides. But that is just going to be gold and experience for Mineski because there is no Drake. They already took the Drake earlier. If the fight was around top lane instead, maybe it would have happened, but the Rift Herald would have been a juicy target.
Oh yes, that would help.
But that's going to be the mid lane turret actually.
Yes, and without the first turret in the hands of any team, I think Mineski will be taking down the first turret of the game. Oh wait, Zencho, there it is, the first turret, but he will be caught off guard. No, dodges the javelin, really but TG kills in for the save with Zencho picking off Viper.
He got baited there. TG got Viper hook, line, and sinker, pouncing it in while immediately protecting
a
from
split-second reaction.
Yeah,
but
let's look at what happened here. G4 tried to roam down, but he was caught between a rock and a hard place. Kaigo, on the other hand, had his flash to get out of there, and that was way too dangerous to engage Ascension. So it's going to be in favor of Mineski for that.
And with the skill score with 3 to 5, 17 minutes and 40 seconds into the game, with the next Drake being the Ocean.
Another Ocean Drake.
That is going to spell disaster for Ascension if they allow Mineski to finalize the third stack.
That's a lot of regeneration.
So much regeneration.
In the itemization earlier, Kaigo was behind.
Right now,
he had to build 3 Doran's rings.
Yes.
But now with that regeneration, he can just trade fearlessly with the Grasp of the Undying, gives him that regeneration as well.
Super.
Plus the Ocean Drake
and
lets him stay in lane for so much.
Yes. Without the pressure in Lloyd trying to push out the lane, the exploding casks does get used, but there will be no follow-up. That will just be a wave clear.
Because I don't think he expects to have any big fights anytime soon. There are no objectives spot lane. Both top laners don't have teleport. So burning that just to get some pressure and damage onto Lloyd, I think is okay.
There is the Voyage. Oh, wow, no way. Dodging away the Chain of Corruption. Nicely timed. But that would be a save. Oh, let's see the Crystal Arrow. Will it connect? And yes, it does! Onto Axel Zen. That's a very long stun. And for G4 to secure the kill.
That's free damage onto him a lot.
Oh, whoa. There is the 4K. TG gets caught off guard with Viper securing the kill, but giving G4 instead for that snowball.
Zencho in a dangerous position. He does
very
not have
dangerous. Dodges the javelin, but here comes James to scare away members of Ascension. And now they are going to be taking down the bot lane outer turret.
This does extend their gold lead, actually gives them the gold lead here. Around 800, 1,000 gold. I don't think it's enough to actually really make a difference. The Drakes on the side of Mineski, if they extend the lane, if they don't get caught and are able to stay in lane, they will be able to out-resource Ascension.
What matters right now is that they are giving G4 the resources for him to deal a lot of damage.
Resources getting 2 kills and 3 assists.
Yes.
He is a lot of utility, but with the items, he can pull out a lot of damage, and that's what's important. After getting his utility out, he can bring out lots of damage with the shockwave. Could be very dangerous.
Let's see how it will turn out with the 20-minute mark closing in. Right now, we'll be seeing that No Way and Lloyd will be spiking in damage, but the same goes for Exosen and Zencho. Right now, Kaigo is more of a disruptor. James did a good job in the jungle phase itself, but could not control the lane as effective as he could.
Yeah, not earlier. Without the first blood, he was not able to reach an early item lead that could just snowball the lane's pressure. It seems like the Ocean Drake will be the apple of the eye for these teams.
Yes, and now
it's going to be a dance, a silent dance around this area. Seems like they don't want to risk it too much.
Mineski starting the Ocean Drake despite 4 members.
He's going to pull away from it.
Pulling away. Lloyd does have his teleport. Same with Kaigo.
But they are starting it, disregarding the ward. It is cancelled out by the control ward, but Ascension knows.
Let's see what happens. Viper strikes Zencho with the javelin, dodges the crystal arrow, and there it is. the battle for the Ocean Drake. It would be MSK securing the third Ocean Drake. And now teleport coming in, but Exozen just unleashed his power onto Warlock, and now Zancho's left alone. He burned his heal, plus the speed boost from the Blade of the Ruined King. TG's there for the save, and with Kaigu approaching from the top lane, TG is very low, but there is the grand challenge. Lloyd is left alone without his allies. Exozen picks up the kill with Kaigu just zoning at the members. James going for that pincer attack with G4 in the shockwave of TG. Not enough with the piercing arrow, securing the kill. James very low. Kaigu goes in for the flash and body slam with Exozen is on a killing spree.
And that's going to be all of the most of the members of MSK just ticking down. Look at that red health bar. But that's going to be 3 kills for them, outplaying Ascension as they continue. And okay, we're gonna have to see a replay of that later. But I like how they positioned, and look at this. It's going to be TG just saving Zensho here, pulling a lot of aggro from Lloyd. But at that point, Kaigo was already there. Lloyd was in way too deep. His team was not there to save him. So now Kaigo gets the opportunity to be the front line.
And Kaigo did a really good job on zoning out the members of G4.
And James being just there to flank the threat, forcing them into this kind of pathing, opens it up to more kills. And this is just Exozen and the rest of MSK pushing their health bars to the limit.
Now, with that said, MSK with the kill score of 5-9 with 3 Ocean Drakes in their hands. They have control of the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, they have control. 2k gold lead plus 3 Ocean Drakes. It might not be the Ocean Drake that they want,
but they still have to respect that G4 will deliver the damage. But in that clash, he got a bit too greedy.
Yeah, too greedy there. And really doesn't power of TG here. Instead of opting for, say, the QSS that the other Tom Kenches from the GPL.
There it is. Warlock gets caught apart, but he does catch the board, gets onto Zensho, but it is not enough.
Also burns the Crystal Arrow. So that's going to be another engaged or
counter-engaged tool. Trying to defend this wave of minions from MSK. The top lane turret will be sieged, because we know that Ashes have such good utility in terms of wave clear.
They do have that. So this pushes off 3 members with 2 defending that top lane.
With that vision being denied from MSK Ascension, they are not giving this turret up without a fight. But with 3 members of MSK just not minding Viper and No Way, they are taking out this turret without a problem.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3v2. G4 actually way too late to the party there, so cannot try and take that away. Your pings to Baron. It's gonna be ambitious play for Ascension.
There is control ward.
They will be spotted out here, so has to just cancel that.
Should they start a Baron, knowing that MSK does have the 3 Ocean Drakes? I know it's not enough, but still, it is a buff that will benefit a lot. I mean, the split-second heal, the regeneration, that would, the tiny bit left, that could change the flow of the fight.
Yeah, when they actually can disengage, get that healing. But it seems like that would have just been establishing some vision around Baron. I think Ascension knows that they are not in a position to take it just yet. Even a Blade of the Ruined King on No Way. Right. Just establishing some control there.
Yes, good establishment of control for Viper. Not to mention, No Way's itemization looks pretty good right now with the Rune and Target completed. But Zensho completing the QSS plus the Executioner's Calling for the supposedly for No Way, I bet.
Yeah, really it's for No Way not to get his health regeneration and lifesteal, but it's also for Lloyd. Once he completes the grand challenge, that AoE healing, he will want to mitigate that. And also Viper getting those really minor split-second heals, but I think it's all about No Way's lifesteal and Lloyd's grand challenge.
And see that Kaigo itemized the Spirit Visage. That is gonna help a lot.
Look at that Ocean Drake.
Yes, 3 Ocean Drakes plus the Spirit Visage.
It's also going to help against Viper, No Way, and Warlock. They have some substantial
right now we can
damage.
see that on Ascension side they have 3 AP dealing champions.
MSK is making a
establishing
control over this Baron buff. They can't take it if Ascension isn't paying attention.
Starting the Baron
damage.
And you can see that in the map that Warlock and No Way is there.
They pull away from it after seeing, but that's the
Viper,
that might be, Viper
barely dodging the stun. Really good sidestep right there.
Because MSK has a lot of potential with a Baron. They can not finish it and just pull away.
But look at Lloyd in the bot lane, pressuring and push. We can see that Lloyd does have his teleport. Same with Kaigo, so they are allowed to split push, but let's see, in the top lane, in a turret, and almost being pushed out.
It's going to be Kaigo matching it.
Oh, looking at the live in the top lane though, we can see that Kaigo is really pushing away Lloyd, denying the split push they want.
It seems like Mineski pulls away from that top lane turret, backs off. It just establishes some vision in Ascension's jungle.
There's the Crystal Arrow.
Does
not even
anything.
close.
Not even close, baby.
Modern Drake will be live in 30 seconds.
But that's the dragon that both of these teams want, especially Mineski. Combining that Ocean Drake regeneration with that little bit of that 10% bonus to epic monsters and structures is going to help Mineski with their win conditions. If they're eyeing Baron, that Mountain Drake will help a lot. If they're eyeing the turrets, that will also help. And combining it with the regeneration just lets them split push and siege a lot better.
Let's see, the Mountain Drake is live right now. With vision not secured on either teams, but it would be Mineski starting the dragon. But we can see that Viper and the others are going to join in for the contest.
There are a lot of pings to the dragon pit right now. They will want to converge around here.
No vision
Viper's
yet.
Looking for something.
Mountain Drake is low health.
May want to flash pounce that, but
Not worth.
Doesn't want to risk it.
4 Drakes in the hand of Mineski, and this will even allow them for a 5th Drake.
Yeah, 5th Drake.
I have not seen 5th Drakes a lot.
Because as soon as the dragon spawns, if you take it, that might actually give you room for 5 Drakes before the Elder Dragon spawn.
And not to mention, they have started the Drakes at the 6-minute mark.
That was super early.
Yes, it's really...
And that's actually a possibility with the Kha'Zix, especially if you're being helped out by TG and Zensho. So
5 Drakes.
So that's going to be the value and the tempo on the side of Mineski here.
Yeah, you get an Elder Drake on top of that.
They still have to respect the engage from Ascension.
The regeneration, the true damage towards the turret is something Ascension has to prepare for. If ever the Elder Drake does spawn, they have to establish.
Everyone has to be very careful with how they rotate
Not
and
too
how
greedy.
they work. Because even if Mineski has all these Drakes, the gold is still close, which means the itemization isn't too far off.
Yes.
The itemization isn't too far off, which means that if Ascension gets a good fight, and they can get a good fight, imagine long-range Enchanted Crystal Arrow, transition that into Shockwave with Warlock locking down someone important. It's going to be Lloyd and Noe having a feast in that team fight.
Members of both teams really trying to control the Baron pit, knowing that if Ascension gets this Baron, that's what they need to come back from this 4 Drakes loss, taking away the Baron from Mineski and giving Ascension a lot of pushing power, knowing that there is a Fiora, there's Lloyd, really trying to pressure the lanes.
Yeah, Mineski can take the lead in this dance, in this Baron dance. They have the Kha'Zix, they have the Blade of the Ruined King from Zensho, so they will be the ones taking the steps for that Baron. It's up to Ascension to ward them off just by, say, Hawkshot is actually a lot of threat. Can't stop it even if it doesn't deal damage, doesn't CC. The vision gained from that, the information is huge if Ascension spots him out doing the Baron.
Seeing the itemization of G4, pure raw damage. Fort Staff, Morello, and a Leander's Torment, whereas Exozen getting a Ludwig's Echo for that mobility. Morello for the O. Make that another Void Staff too. So Exo is has a defensive item compared to G4.
Yeah, a little bit of a defensive itemization here. He does have the Sorcerer's Shoes, so that does give him a little bit of leeway with more defensive itemization with his magic penetration.
I mean, the burn and the penetration is still, despite being giving health, I still think it's a damage. Yes. A lot of damage denied. Knowing that it's an Orianna that has a slow, will proc it really well.
Proc it really well indeed. The constant damage getting into Mineski. Constant damage going onto Mineski. If G4 can keep going with that, the Leandris will just stack up. The Leandris damage will stack up. The DOT damage over time is going to be pretty painful.
Lloyd. Still. sticking in the bot lane. He does have the Black Cleaver. He can dole it out. The Crystal Arrow is gone.
So that's in the neck, and within the cooldown period of that enchanted Crystal Arrow, MSK's threat for that Baron is a lot bigger, and they are making some aggressive plays here, knowing that is down.
Zensho.
Yeah, Zensho can just easily position like that because of the
Danger
Devour.
close, very dangerous.
The Devour there to save him.
Ascension is doing their best to deny the Baron from MSK going down without a fight. Right now, the composition is showing.
They have to mind themselves, though. Without the enchanted Crystal Arrow for the next minute or so,
they don't have that strong frontliner. That's why Ascension is having such a hard time engaging the fight.
Even if Lloyd goes in, if he gets bursted down, even if he has to repause, if he
MSK starting the Baron.
It's going to be very quick, gets spotted out.
Zensho misses the piercing arrow. That would be a disengage, not risking.
James, they don't want James to be stuck in the middle of a fight, even if they get Baron, if they get Ace, because James can't go in and deal his damage. It's not going to be worth it.
The gold deficit is just 2,000. It is anyone's game, with Ascension slowly backing up from the rough start, but with MSK with the lead from the early game, carrying it on to the late game in terms of objectives.
The objective game is really MSK's right now. Just a little back and forth, the dancing with the Baron, but with Baron vision here. Now it's quite on a standstill, as it seems like MSK
very stagnant. It's a stagnant Baron contest.
Might open up a decision later once the Mountain Drake spawns. Yeah, it's gonna be the dance of vision around around the Baron. It's just gonna be Ascension can do this dance pretty well because Viper can just easily go and leap in, pounce in, clear the wards, put down their own vision, and then pounce out.
And we're seeing that Viper is building defensive. Rods of the Ages and the Iceborne Gauntlets.
Really does not want to get instantly taken down by James. Wants to stay in the fight for longer.
It's really scary to see Lloyd. Look at the itemization. So tanky, so defensive. Can Kaigo even try dueling Lloyd?
I don't think so. He has the true damage straight from his kit.
Wow.
So Kaigo will definitely have
Lloyd will be a huge threat in the late game.
But that's going to be up to his teleport plays. I mean, he is exerting a lot of pressure, taking down another turret for Ascension. But it's going to be James establishing vision.
It's going to be the Mountain Drake being live next, with James securing the shrine in the river. Let us see. The Crystal Arrow is available for No Way to use in case Ascension wants to engage a fight. Lloyd, fresh from the base, goes to the top lane to pressure. There are wards placed all over the riverside
it
for
seems like Kaigo
Lloyd
is
to
staying
teleport.
with his team.
Yes.
Because if a team fight does happen there, they're gonna sacrifice their first tier turret for to ensure the security of this ring.
The decision making is happening right now with MSK securing their 5th Ocean Drake, and there's the flag from TG. There is Kaigo onto No Way, but the shockwave is just too much damage. Exozen misses the Sky of the Week with No Way free to hit, and here comes Lloyd with the grand challenge onto Zensho, forcing out his heal and flash.
Man, Kaigo getting into that voyage was a death sentence. They went in too deep there.
Too deep and too uncalled for.
Because that actually gives the Baron control onto Ascension's side after all that effort from MSK to take those Drakes. That was way, I mean, I think TG was getting ahead of himself.
Yes, that's
Abyssal voyaging in there, getting caught between 4 members of the team. James was not there, Exosen was not there, and especially Zensho was not there for the Corrupting Change follow-up. So even if okay, so also did not have the explosive cask there to split the team apart in preparation for James and Exosen's arrival.
The Abyssal Voyage was questionable, and with that, Ascension took down 2 members of MSK, and Lloyd, the grand challenge is just too much, despite him building pure 3 defensive items. He's dealing so much damage.
All that armor, despite all that armor, the Black Cleaver is going to shred it down. Plus the true damage.
TG dies way too fast.
And TG also dies way too fast indeed. And I think that has something to do with how he's diving with the Abyssal Voyage. I mean, yes, that's one way to that is the way to use it at this stage of the game. However, diving in too deep without your team's immediate support is asking for trouble.
Lloyd staying in for the attempt in case Zensho wants to push out that lane.
Yeah, Zensho does not want to risk that. Recalls back, buys an item.
Recalls back and still
Finishes his Infinity Edge.
Yes.
Would be ahead of No Way in terms of itemization, having to build the Lord Dominic's Regards there for against the armor. Has to use that. While on the other hand, Zensho has a lot of, in general, damage with the crits. If they get into a firefight, of course, they have to get a solid frontline in before Zensho, with his usual positioning, can get those free hits.
TG has to be a bit more beefy if he wants to survive the burst coming in from G4.
He can also try making smarter engagements. That's going to be
Lloyd gets caught off guard with a flash burn onto him. Kaigu trying to force it out, but EXO left all alone. He gets carried away. 3-man stun. Backs away, leaving TG alone. There is the redemption and thick skin. Will it be enough? He flashes over the wall, and now that would be probably a back away from Mineski. Close call, and with Ascension quick to draw, knowing that Exozen is alone.
Yeah, and Exozen flashing away from everything, using all he can. The Scatter the Weak was actually pretty good to prevent his death, but still, being positioned like that, trying to flank as a mid laner Syndra, is very dangerous considering you've got the Void Gaze, you've got everything else that can be pushed out onto you. The CC would be way too much.
So many vision is being invested in the Baron.
Yeah, Mineski really has to fix how they position themselves.
Seeing that there were 2 recalls, Mineski tempted to start the Baron, knowing that they do have the 2 Mountain Drakes, but it is still very risky.
Yeah, the Hawk Shot denies so much.
Yes.
Even though it's not just vision, it is the vision that will give Ascension the information when they want to go in, the health of the Baron, if it's worth it to go.
Yes.
So it's going to be just that one spell coming from No Way is going to push them off of the Baron.
Not to mention, TG has a lot of armor, but not enough health. That is why he's so easy to burst down. He does have the thick skin, but he needs to pick up, let's say, more, maybe a Sunfire would help, but I'm not pretty sure. He will still finish up the Locket of the Iron Solari, which is a better support item.
Yeah, that would help his team a lot in the team fighting, but without that, it is going to be the Aegis for now. Once he finishes that Solari, a Locket of the Iron Solari, is going to be a lot of value for Mineski.
Look at Lloyd making it to the late game with the Guardian's Angel in his hand. 4
really
items locked in.
To die. And even if he does, that's a lot of free time for Ascension to take out the rest of Mineski after he gets his initial damage in.
Right now, I think the game will be decided. Whoever takes the Baron, that's going to spell a really big lead.
The Baron will dictate how this is, especially how they dance the Baron. Seems like Mineski
They're starting at no wards placed. They know they don't have vision. Look at how the fast the Baron is taking down. Zensho, Exozen gets stunned out. Hamas still sticking to the Baron. Very risky with Kaigo splitting out Viper, zoning it out. With G4 bursting out the member. There's the redemption. Hamas still loyal to the Baron. Will it be enough? He does get exhausted, really betting all in.
No, the lead.
He misses the lead, but still secures the Baron. And now Zensho left to fend for himself. Members of Mineski just falling behind. Kaigo flashes over the wall. Body slams away. There is the blast gun for the quick escape. With 3 members down, Mineski still got the Baron.
But that was such a bad call for them. They do get Baron on 2 members of their team, but what is Ascension going to do? They look at how that bot lane turret is just falling apart. Zensho with the wave clear, but that's going to be 4 members.
The turret goes down without any trouble. Right now, Ascension, knowing that 2 members are still under death timers, they have taken the first inhibitor of the game.
Wow, Mineski getting so impatient with a Baron. And even with the vision, even if they were caught out by the vision from the Farseer ward, they still force it, and that cost them 3 lives, even with James getting that smite.
But the Elder Drake will be live in less than 5 seconds. Could this be the redemption that Mineski's looking for? There is the shockwave on 2 members. TG pops the thick skin. Kaigo, not even enough. He gets bursted down with the members of Ascension. 2 members down for the cat, and with Elder up for grabs. Ascension makes their way.
Mineski just falling apart after losing that big team fight in the top lane, giving away the Elder Drake to Ascension.
Oh boy.
That'll
be an easy Elder Drake for Ascension, taking away the 5 stacks of Drakes from Mineski.
Man, that's just Mineski. After losing that, they lost control of their own jungle. And they tried to establish again control, but that was G4 waiting in the brush. Takes them out.
The burst coming in is something you have to respect. And there's the replay.
Let's look at the replay here. It's going to be Zensho and Exosen. Wow. Those are the two priority targets for the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and this actually splits it apart. Kaigu, what is Kaigu doing here? He's not being the front line. He's trying to duel Viper, but that is not the best way to do things when you're one of the few frontliners of your team. James doing a lot, hiding behind the Baron to delay them damage. Even if he gets a smite though, it's not really worth it.
Yes, and look how Lloyd is having so much impact in the late game. Still has the Guardian Angel.
Yeah, it has not been popped just yet. Still 2-1-1, but that's a lot of pressure and damage coming from him. And really, MSK forcing that was huge. And Kaigu, yes, TG is pretty tanky at this point, but has not built the Iron Solari yet. So
he
he's not
built the Quicksilver Slash.
Quicksilver Sash will help him a little bit. The tankiness did give him a lot more value.
Oh, look how fast the turret's taking down. Ascension picks up their 7th turret for the game.
It's a team with the Baron buff on the defensive. But even then, look at how much damage that Ascension can bring out on this turret, on these waves.
Kaigo, Lloyd is doing so much pressure.
Yeah, just being there. Kaigo cannot duel him, so they would need 2 members or more to take down Lloyd. Especially with a Elder Drake buff, it's going to be very hard for them to match it. Has to take this.
Wow, look at the turret taking down really quickly. Viper barely makes it out, and now Lloyd still in the mid lane, pressuring Kaigo.
Yeah, I guess it's so hard. You have the bot lane getting pushed in by the super minions.
Oh, look at the Nexus turret on the base. That's a lot of that's like 2 super minions. They have to fend that off.
They are really under pressure here. 5 Drakes, but okay, so the
Enchanted Crystal Arrow does miss with Ascension, taking away the turret. Now James going for the flag, going for no way. Viper is very low, and Lloyd just intercepts James. Exozen is very low, TG is very low too. There is the shockwave for the cleanup, and was Axel picked up by the Javelin from Viper. 2 members of MSK now makes that 3, with Sancho only left for the count. Now how will it happen? James could not even intercept Ascension.
At that point, everyone was the utility, the shields, and the CC.
That would be game set. Only that 3 members are down.
MSK losing their first game of the best of 5 against Ascension from Thailand.
There you guys have it, with Ascension securing the first victory of the best of 5 series. Congratulations for Ascension for securing a victory in their first game of match 1.
They have the momentum.
They have the momentum, but MSK, they had a great start in the Drake controls. But when it came to the late game, Lloyd was just too much.
Yeah, I think they were trying to force the objectives way too much later in the game. They had 2 Mountain Drakes, but the Baron still very beefy. And the biggest thing there was Exosen and Zensho were caught out by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Kaigo was not frontlining for them, not being the disruptor. Trying to duel Viper, there was no reason for that. He should have just disrupted for his team, peeled for Zensho and Exosen. They just fell apart after that. The Baron meant nothing. They weren't able to use it, had no value from it, no tempo even, and that's just them falling apart in the late game.
The late game really just shined for Ascension because of their lineup. No Way and Lloyd. Not to mention G4. If despite being locked down in the mid lane,
so much damage coming
from
the Shockwave.
So much burst coming from the Shockwave because he had the Void Staff. So guys, there you have it. That was game 1 of match 1 of MSK versus Ascension in the best of 5 series, with Ascension securing the first victory. We'll be having a 50-minute break after the highlights. Stay tuned for the next game 2 between MSK versus Ascension. Will they come back, or will Ascension keep up the momentum and secure another victory?
We've been your Shoutcasters. I am Atlas. With me is Vulcan. We'll be seeing you after the break.
In for the flash in, also for G4, flash in for James. There is the scout, not gonna help much. Heal burnt by G4. There is the 3rd stack, devoured by TG, with James securing the kill. And from the bottom lane, we see No Way responding, Skying to position with the heal burn, and Axosen responding for damage will not be enough, with Warlock's Voidlings just chewing out Kaigo the gang, but that would be a chain of corruption onto Warlock. And there's a swallow from Warlock. He flashes away with TG's thick skin active. There's the heal forward, and G4 alone. Teleport coming in from the top lane with Kaigo in the scene. There is G4 caught off guard with Zencho picking up the kill. A flash over the wall for Kaigo in the ground pit. TG slow with the tongue lash with Lloyd soaking so much damage. Viper strikes Zencho with the javelin, dodges the crystal arrow, and there it is. The battle for the Ocean Drake. It would be MSK securing the third Ocean Drake. And now teleport coming in. But Exozen just unleashed his power onto Warlock. And now Zencho's left alone. He burned his heal. Plus the speed boost from the Blade of the Ruined King. TG's there for the save. And with Kaigo approaching from the top lane, TG is very low. But there is the grand challenge. Lloyd is left alone without his allies. Exozen picks up the kill with Kaigo just zoning at the members. James going for that pincer attack with G4 in the shockwave of TG. Not enough with the piercing arrow, securing the kill. James very low. Kaigo goes in for the flash and body slam with Exozen is on a killing spree.
And that's going to be all.
Warlock gets caught off guard, but he does catch the forward gets onto Zencho. But it is not enough. With Kaigo splitting out Viper, zoning it out. This G4 bursting out. Remember, there's the redemption. James still loyal to the Baron. Will it be enough? He does get exhausted, really betting all in.
No, the lead.
He misses the lead, but still
Baron
secures the Baron. And now Zencho left to fend for himself. Members of MSK just falling behind. Kaigo flashes over the wall. Body slams away. There is the blast gun for the quick escape. With 3 members down, Mineski still got the Baron. Oh wait, Viper is very low and Lloyd just intercepts James. Exozen is very low, TG is very low too. There is the shockwave for the cleanup and with Axel picked up by the javelin from Viper. 2 members of Mineski now make that 3 with Zencho only left for the count. Now how will it happen? James could not even intercept Ascension.
At that point, everyone was utility, the shields, and the CC.
That would be game set. Knowing that 2 members are down.
MSK losing their first game of the best of 5 against Ascension from Thailand.
There you guys have it with Ascension securing the first victory of the best of 5.
The new high-performance Rig 500 headset from Plantronics is designed to match the skills of an aspiring esport player with the gear they need to win. The new modular system gives you the power to adapt, upgrade, and personalize your headset for the task at hand. The Rig 500 series of gaming headsets are engineered to deliver the perfect combination of durable lightweight comfort in an immersive audio environment. 7.1 surround sound and 24-bit audio provide a stunning 360-degree sound field with directional audio. 40mm drivers with low-frequency resonators provide crisp highs and boosted bass. Clear voice noise-canceling technology provides clear communication to your teammates. From the headset company that equips the pros, the 500 series was crafted to meet the needs of esports and competitive players around the world. The new Rig 500 series of headsets from Plantronics. Respect the training. Reactions win.
fight me if you have no spirit. You will be tested.
Your prayers have been answered. Your god has abandoned you. Crude power and no technique. Pathetic. Too easy. Disappointing. Finally, the challenge.